Okay. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Namaste.
And
Namaste.
welcome to all our speakers and welcome to everyone in the audience who's watching us and is part of the MoJOsh Magnificent 7. Today we are sitting on the sports special. This is sports special edition, and we have legends from across India playing various myriad games and bringing out the learning for us. The MoJOsh Magnificent 7 and the stories, epic stories that we talk of, are of grit, of resilience, of breakthrough. And these stories inspire all of us to keep a sports mindset going. In life, at many points and more, we all break. But when we break down, mostly many give up and break down. Few persevere and break through. That is the miracle within. How do we bring this miracle from within? And sports mindset or science of resilience talks of grit, consistency, and learning to learn and changing our mindset. In Japanese art form of Kaizen, they say continuous improvement. And each of us know that to refine, transform, and bring finesse in our work, in our art, in our sports, we need continuous improvement. We need to do training and we need to practice and persevere every single day. So on that note, we are going to now listen into the concept and the short video that we had created about the MoJOsh Magnificent 7. And today we are sitting with 7 legends from across sports that have inspired people from world over to do better. And sports, as they say, is the mindset in sports can make you a better human being. Can you make you a better person? Can improve your personality? Can improve all holistic aspects of your life. So sports is not just on the sports ground. Sports pilfers and brings in learning into every facet of our life. So once again, a very warm welcome from Rex Fraternity to all of you. And now we're going to play a little video and then we'll move on to the speakers and hear it, everyone. I'm sorry, we're going to play the video again. Some technical glitch at our end, and we're not able to hear the video. So we're going to try and play it again. Sorry about the technical glitch. We're going to try and play it again. Anyways, I think we're going to play the video later. The video talks about the miracle within. People who are broken down, people who have various life issues, when they're down and out and in the vulnerable position, that's when they rise up and overcome their vulnerability to break through and to find tenacity, resilience, and strength and power to go beyond their capacity and ability and create a miracle. The charisma and the miracle is within us. And that's what we are endeavoring to bring out with the story of each one of you who has gone through some down times, has persevered to reach where you are, and have inspired millions of people around to bring out the best. So to begin with, we are starting with Anshu. Anshu, I'm not going to delve deep into your art and your sport. I leave it to you and over to you.
Namaste, everyone. Before I start about my journey, I would take few seconds and give my heartfelt gratitude to Team Rex Karamveer for giving us this platform. So thank you for having us here. So I am now going to talk about my journey. And this journey, I name it as a journey of a corporate slave to an international kettlebell sport athlete now. This journey is about a mother, a wife, a daughter, and more to do with the fact a woman who has led into transformation from a corporate slave to an international athlete, to a fitness coach, and to a brand ambassador. So when I delivered my daughter in 2014, now that's where the turning point of my life was. Being a new mom, and we all know the fact that initial 2 to 3 years of motherhood are dedicated to your child. But I felt lost. I felt lost of my identity. And that's where the birth of my second baby, which is my brand, The Future You, happened. I actually had to get into every nook and corner to find that one person who would put me back in shape, who would get my confidence, my zeal back, because I was a hardcore professional. Now, as we all know that I'm based out of Gurgaon. So like we have liquor shops available in Gurgaon, every nook and corner. It's very, very easy to find fitness trainer. But what is more important is that one fitness professional who can actually understand the agony of a new mom, the mental stress, the physical stress, the social stress that one has to go through. When I say social stress, there are a lot of do's and don'ts that a new mother has to follow, be it family, friends, anybody around you. You have a lot of people giving you tips how to deal with the new motherhood, your child. So this future you was formed wherein I decided I want to be a fitness professional who just doesn't fit into for everybody. So I wanted to make sure it's not just me. This could be the story every next door. Every new mom wants to come back to shape, wants to get back to action. And when I say come back to shape, I am not just saying coming back to a lean body mechanism. I'm talking about getting that confidence back, carrying the baby for 9 months, delivering, then of course, the new phase of motherhood. There are a lot of times I have been through postpartum depression. And the only way I could get back is when I came back to shape. I was 70 kgs when I delivered my daughter. I'm a proud mother. And when I came back to shape, I dropped down to a good and a decent healthy weight category. And that's where I decided that I'm going to qualify and keep on re-qualifying myself. I started with a Reebok junior fitness coach. then moved on to multiple certifications, which include few top-notch certifications from American Council of Exercise, rehab from Australia, and a prenatal and postnatal coach, which is very, very close to my heart because I know the agony of a new mom. I've been a mother. I've been through that phase. The best feather to add on to the cap was when I stepped into my kettlebell sport journey. So yes, I was 47 kgs when I get back. I was back in shape. I started lifting a 4 kg kettlebell. I know people in the fraternity who would have talked about me. A girl who's lean would not be able to get into the sport because you need to lift heavy kettlebells. And I feel proud and I feel humbled to share. Today I lift 16 plus 16, which is 32 kg on my body at a weight category of under 57. I just decided on one fact. I want to be the best female lifter in India. I'm on my road to that. I also feel humbled to share 80% of my team members whom I train today in sport are females. And we're going to make sure we embark on a new journey for every female who's joined this journey along with me. As we always tend to hear this quote from famous Rocky Balboa, that it is not about how hard you hit. It is always about how hard you get it and then you get up. So all I want to say is, if I could do it, everybody can do it. If you really want to achieve something in life, all you need to feel is that thing that you want in life is nothing but as if you're gasping for air. It should be when you sleep, when you get up, when you walk, it should all revolve around your dream. Also, during my journey, I have had my ample number of times wherein I was about to break down. In fact, I will take the opportunity to use this platform and share. I got the news of losing my father. The next day, I went ahead and I lifted my kettlebells. So as Ituji rightly said, when we started this conversation, that sports actually change your mindset, the way you handle things, the way you handle your life. It really brings out a different person. I again feel humbled to share this journey. Last year has embarked to get a silver medal for India in IUKL. When everybody was striving to fight with COVID, yes, I did travel to Hungary and we have been able to get a silver medal for our country. I'm the first female international referee for kettlebell sport in India. And I'm leaving this note here, taking this platform again to pledge that I will break through all barriers and I'm not going to give up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anshu. That was very inspiring. And I think you've touched upon some very important points that, as a woman, we should not give up. And everyone should also be participating into the mind of tenacity of a woman who wants to get through and do what she wants to do. And you've talked about that take the control of what you want to do is in your hand.
Yeah.
When you're in the field, wherever you are, you can do as much and how much, because constantly challenging ourselves and daily and every day is where we make the next limit that we want to get into. And that's just the shift of the mindset. And when we talk of the shift of the mindset shift is not only in the playground, but it's also, we bring that whole, beauty and creativity and thought process at home, in our families, and for people around us. And that's how we become an inspiration for people who want to do better in life. True. And Anshu, you've also been playing, or you're part of a sport which is very unpopular or not known. People think of it only as a exercise in the gym.
True. Yes.
And you've sort of broken the glass ceiling on that. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Means a lot to me. Thank you. And as I said, I've taken this pledge again, being a part of Karamveer community, that I'm going to break through barriers and get this sport going for sure.
Great. On that note, we have the story of Eric, and the story of this sports person who was so junooned, I would use the word junooned, to climb mountains, that he did not even think of the disability or the handicap, or not having eyes. So we're going to play the story of Eric Weinmeier, who has climbed all the major peaks in the world in spite of not having eyes to see. And they say when you do not have one of your body parts working very well, you put in all your effort, focus, and your practice, and your devotion, and your dedication into enabling yourself and transforming yourself into being successful and into doing best of your ability and capability. And sometimes at Rex Karamveer, we say that, we people, the enabled people, enabled people, or this, abled people, as they say, are more disabled than anybody else, because we do not use our all faculties and devotion and mind and focus. And the story of Eric Weinmeier is absolutely stunning and inspiring. And it talks about the resilience and tenacity of how we can break through barriers and create inspiration. So we're going to be listening to that story right now, and see to it that it absolutely inspires us.
Sit. Good boy. Hey, my name is Eric Weinmeier, and I'm here in Golden, Colorado at the American Mountaineering Museum. And this is my guide dog, Yuri. I'm here in front of this exhibit of Mount Everest in 2001. I got the privilege of climbing it. I became the first blind person to do so. But more proud is the fact that 19 of my team reached the summit that day. That was a world record, the most people to reach the summit of Everest in a single day. And that launched me.
Can't see the video. Play it again, please.
Just saying, ma'am. Just a second.
Sit. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Hey, my name is Eric Weinmeier, and I'm here in Golden, Colorado at the American Mountaineering Museum. And this is my guide dog, Yuri. I'm here in front of this exhibit of Mount Everest in 2001. I got the privilege of climbing it. I became the first blind person to do so. But more proud is the fact that 19 of my team reached the summit that day. That was a world record, the most people to reach the summit of Everest in a single day. And that launched me into all sorts of adventures, climbing the 7 summits, the tallest peak in every continent, and just recently getting to kayak the entire length of the Grand Canyon, 277 miles.
Ma'am, there is some technical
We move
issue.
on to our next.
So can you please move on with another one, ma'am?
We move on with the next speaker. We have Kuldeep Singh Bisht as our next speaker. Kuldeep Singh Bisht has been with us for almost 2 decades and has been inspiring us with his wonderful, wonderful story. And let's hear from you, Kuldeep ji, your inspiring story. Please unmute yourself.
मैंने सोचा मेरे से पहले गुलफाम जी
हाँ,
हैं।
आपसे पहले गुलफाम है, सॉरी। मैं भी थोड़ा आज टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूज हो रही हूँ. The technical glitches are also making me unnerving me a little. Apologies for that. Let's move on to Gulfam. Gulfam, let's hear your inspiring stories. आपकी बहुत ही beautiful story है जो holistically inspire करती है. So let's hear from Gulfam and let's hear Gulfam's story.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल नमस्ते सभी को जो लोग देख रहे हैं, ईतू मैम एंड मेरे सभी फेलोज, पूरे हिंदुस्तान को मेरा आदरणीय नमस्ते सलाम। और मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि मुश्किलों में कैसे आप मुस्कुराते हैं और किस तरह से अपनी जिंदगी को खूबसूरत बना सकते हैं। जी हाँ, बिकॉज मैं जब 1 साल का था, जब मेरे को पोलियो इफेक्ट हुआ, मेरी बॉडी पोलियो इफेक्ट हुई, और उसके बाद मेरी फैमिली ने हमेशा मुझे ऐसे उनके लिए मैं एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बन गया, लाइक कि मेरा बचपन कैसे बीतेगा, मेरी जवानी कैसे बीतेगी, मेरी लाइफ स्टाइल क्या होगा। तो वो हमेशा बस ये सोचते थे कि मैं किसी तरह कोई ऐसा काम सीख लूं जिससे मेरी जिंदगी का रोजगार चल जाए और मतलब मेरा पेट भर जाए। तो कोई हाथ का ऐसा काम। तो सम टाइम में जब मैं 5-6 साल का हुआ तो मुझे फैक्ट्रियों में भेजा जाता था। घर की फैक्ट्री थी तो वहां पे मुझे बिठाया जाता था कि मैं ये सिलाई का काम सीख लेता हूँ। मेरी लाइफ कुछ खास नहीं थी, बस ऐसा था कि हम जहाँ पे रहते थे वहाँ बच्चों के साथ गली में खेलना, और मेरे गली के बाहर एक प्राइवेट स्कूल था जहाँ मैं नहीं जाता था। मैं ये इंसिडेंट आपको बिल्कुल शुरू में इसलिए बताना चाहता हूँ बिकॉज जब हम सोचते हैं ना कि सब जगह अंधेरा है, एकदम तूफान आ गया है, तो गांव में मैंने एक कहानी सुनी थी, उसका छोटा सा पार्ट बताता हूँ। एक गांव में जब तूफान आए तो सब लोग वहां बचे नहीं, वो लोग सब लोग की डेथ हो गई। लेकिन एक ऋषि मुनि थे जिनकी जो कुटिया थी ना, वो प्रॉपर बनी हुई नहीं थी, वो टूटी हुई थी ऊपर से। तो सब लोग तो धूल मिट्टी में तूफान में दब के मर गए, लेकिन उनकी कुटिया के अंदर जो ऊपर रोशनी का दरार खुला हुआ था, उससे उनको हवा और पानी मिला और वो जीवित रहे। तो दोस्तों, लाइफ में आपके जो भी कुछ टूटा हुआ होता है या कोई चीज इनकम्प्लीट होती है, वो आपका सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी होता है। ये मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ अपनी लाइफ के बारे में। जी हाँ, मेरी गली के बाहर एक प्राइवेट स्कूल था, उसका बड़ा सा प्ले ग्राउंड था और उसका दरवाजा बिल्कुल टूटा हुआ था, थोड़ा सा मेरी किस्मत की तरह। मैं अक्सर क्या करता था, जब लंच टाइम होता था तो ब्रेक टाइम होता था, तो मैं वहां जाकर बैठता था और अंदर बच्चे खेल रहे होते थे तो उनको देख के बड़ा खुश होता था। तो ऐसा करते देख एक दिन प्रिंसिपल ने वहां की मेरे को देख लिया और मुझे स्कूल में बुलाया और मेरे से पूछा कि ये क्या कर रहे थे। बिकॉज मैं गंदे बच्चों में खेलता था, फैक्ट्री में काम वगैरह करवाया जाता था मेरे से। तो बस मैंने एक ही बात कही कि मुझको ना आंटी जी अंदर आना है। मैं बड़ा एक्साइटेड होकर बोला। तो उन्होंने फिर मेरे पेरेंट्स से बात की किसी तरह, बिकॉज मेरी फैमिली में कोई भी पढ़े लिखे नहीं थे उस वक्त। तो उन्होंने मुझे स्कूल में भेजा। ये थी शुरुआत मेरी पॉजिटिविटी की, कि मैं अगर डिसेबल नहीं होता तो शायद मैं उस स्कूल के दरवाजे पे नहीं बैठता, शायद वो दरवाजा टूटा हुआ नहीं होता, तो शायद मैं बच्चों को देखकर खुश नहीं होता। तो ये जो भी चीज थी, ये सब पॉजिटिविटी, सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी की तरफ मुझे ले जा रहे थे। यही वजह हुई कि मैं जब स्कूल गया तो मैं पॉजिटिविटी की तरफ, अच्छाइयों की तरफ बढ़ने लगा। और ये हुआ ये कि क्योंकि मैं एक क्रॉलिंग वॉक करता था, जब हाथों से चलता था, तो मेरे मसल्स जल्दी बिल्डअप हो गए। बहुत कम उम्र में मेरे बाइसेप्स, बॉडी अच्छे से बन गई मेरी। तो मैं जब 8th क्लास में पहुंचा तो मैंने तब जिम ज्वाइन किया। और जब जिम ज्वाइन किया तो जो लड़के 10 से 5 साल, 2-3 साल में बॉडी बनाते हैं, वो मेरी जस्ट 6 से 7 महीने में बिल्डअप हो गई। अब बॉडी बन गई डिसेबिलिटी के साथ, लेकिन ना मुझे कोई प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं मिल रहा था। फिर मुझे अचानक पता लगा कि पैरालंपिक गेम्स कुछ ऐसा होता है जिसमें पर्सन विद डिसेबल लोग गेम खेलते हैं और उनको मेडल जीतने को मिलता है। तो ये मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी थी, बिकॉज मैं अपनी सोसाइटी में सब जगह जाना जाता था अपने बेचारेपन की वजह से, अपनी विकलांगता की वजह से, और मुझको जाने जाना था अपनी एबिलिटी की वजह से, अपनी अचीवमेंट की जगह से। तो मैंने बस ये सोचा कि यार अगर मैं मेडल जीतता हूं तो मेरे नाम के आगे गुलफाम अहमद नेशनल पावर लिफ्टर मेडलिस्ट लगेगा। मुझे और कुछ नहीं मालूम था। हुआ ये कि मैं बस घर से, चैंपियनशिप थी तो घर पे बिना बताए नागपुर पहुंच गया। और जूनियर कैटेगरी में जब मैंने पार्टिसिपेट किया नागपुर में, तो 52 बॉयज के बीच में मैंने वहां पे पहली बार, मैं ये तो नहीं कहूंगा मैंने बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म किया, बट मैंने ब्रॉन्ज मेडल पर अपनी पकड़ बनाई। और जो मैं सोच रहा था कि मुझे डिसेबल के अलावा मुझे कोई और टाइटल नाम के आगे लगाना है, वो मैं लगा चुका था। बट यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि आपकी सोसाइटी और फैमिली आपको इतना इंकरेज नहीं मिलती है। यहाँ पे आपको स्टेबल होना पड़ता है, उसको बनाए रखना पड़ता है। फैमिली ने तो यही बोला कि यहाँ से कुछ पैसा वैसा मिला है गया, तो मैंने कहा नहीं मम्मी, मेडल मिला है। तो बस मैं चुपचाप मेडल लेके घर आया और लग गया अपनी मेहनत में। यही हुआ कि हर साल बैक टू बैक, फिर मैं जहाँ ब्रॉन्ज था वो फिर वो सिल्वर हुआ, फिर वो गोल्ड हुआ। 2015 तक आते आते मैंने लगभग 20 मेडल जीत लिए थे। ये मेरी लाइफ की जर्नी थी, बिकॉज मैंने कभी भी खुद की डिसेबिलिटी से जितनी बार भी गिरा तो मैं हारा नहीं। बिकॉज मैं ये सोचता था कि जितनी बार मैं गिर रहा हूँ, मेरी कमियां, मेरी कमजोरियां, मेरी डिसेबिलिटी गिर रही है। और जैसे जैसे मैं उठता गया, मेरी एबिलिटी, मेरी काबिलियत, मेरे अंदर की जो इंस्पिरेशन थी वो बाहर आती गई। तो मैं हमेशा ऊपर वाले से ये कहता था कि जब भी मुश्किल आए ना तो मुझे दे देना, बिकॉज मुझे मालूम है तुम मुश्किल के बाद मुझे एक अच्छे मुकाम पे पहुंचा है। तो हमेशा लाइफ में हम, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि थोड़ा सा परेशान होते हैं, गिरते हैं, फेल हो जाते हैं किसी भी चीज में, तो यही सोचते हैं कि ये मेरे साथ क्यों हुआ। आप लकी हो, आपको मौका मिला है कम एसेट के साथ काम करने का। मेरे अगर पैर नहीं थे, नहीं है, काम नहीं करते, तो मेरी अपर बॉडी को पूरा मौका मिला है काम करने का, उसको कुछ पहचान बनाने का। तो यहाँ पे मैंने 2015 में मिस्टर व्हील चेयर इंडिया का खिताब जीता। इसी के साथ साथ मैंने मॉडलिंग करियर में अपनी एक अच्छी पहचान बनाई। मैंने एल्बम सॉन्ग किया, मैंने जी टीवी जैसे बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म पे जाकर परफॉर्म किया, और भी कई सारे मंच पर मैंने परफॉर्म किया। बचपन में मैं कभी सोचता था कि जैसे सलमान खान जी को देख लिया तो मैं भी कभी हीरो बनूंगा। लेकिन बचपन में जो भी सपने देखते हैं ना, उनको कभी मरने मत देना, उन पॉजिटिविटी की तरफ जीते रहो आप। एक दिन जरूर आएगा, आपके सपनों के लिए एक छोटी सी विंडो खुलेगी। अगर आपने एफर्ट पूरे मार रखे हैं, अपनी लाइफ के एफर्ट पूरे हैं आपकी एबिलिटीज के, तो डेफिनेटली उस विंडो से आप अपनी अचीवमेंट को हासिल कर लोगे। और यहाँ पर सबसे बड़ी बात लाइफ में, एक ये चीज बड़ी गलत होती है, मैं सबको एक मैसेज देना चाहता हूँ कि लाइफ में जब भी कोई भी अपनी गिरता है ना, चाहे वो एजुकेशन हो, पढ़ाई हो, बिजनेस हो, या एक डिसेबल्ड बंदा भी कोई अगर गिरता है तो 10 लोग जाते हैं या 2 लोग जाते हैं, उसको उठाते हैं और बोलते हैं तुझे पानी, खाना पीना हम देंगे, तुम यहाँ बैठो। ऐसी फैमिली में होता है कि पढ़ाई बेटा फेल हो गया, कोई नहीं, तू ये कर ले, बिजनेस में फेल हो गया बेटा, तू ये कर ले। ये बहुत बड़ा पाप होता है। बिकॉज मैंने वही बात मैं रिपीट करूंगा कि कोई भी अगर इंसान गिर रहा है तो वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ अपनी डिसेबिलिटी, अपनी कमियों की वजह से गिर रहा है। यदि आपने उसको सपोर्ट कर दिया उस टाइम, तो वो उसकी कमियां वापस उठकर आ जाएंगी, उसकी एबिलिटी, उसकी खूबियां कभी नहीं आएंगी। उसको मॉनिटर करो, उसको मोटिवेट करो कि यार कुछ नहीं होता, गिरा है ना, ये गली बंद थी ना, दूसरे रास्ते पे चल, तुझे और बड़ा सफर मिलेगा। और वो जब गिर के उठेगा तो अपनी एबिलिटीज पे उठेगा। यही वजह है दोस्तों कि मैंने आज बीइंग ए पर्सन विद डिसेबल्ड होने के बावजूद 26 मेडल पर अपनी पकड़ बनाई, और रूबरू मिस्टर इंडिया नॉर्मल लोगों के साथ मैंने पार्टिसिपेट किया मॉडलिंग में, मैन फिजिक्स में। और मैं अपने आप को रोक नहीं रहा हूँ कि मैंने ऐसे कुछ बहुत बड़ा अचीव कर लिया है। अभी भी नेक्स्ट मंथ में मेरे दो बड़े गेम हैं, तो इंशाल्लाह मैं वहां भी अपना बेस्ट करूंगा। मुझे नहीं मालूम कि मैं हारूंगा या जीतूंगा, लेकिन जो मुझे जीतना है ना, वो उससे मुझे कोई नहीं रोक सकता। तो थैंक यू सो मच मुझे यहाँ प्लेटफॉर्म पे अपनी बात रखने के लिए, आप सबको। और लाइफ में हमेशा खुश रहो, अच्छे से रहो, और कभी भी गिरने से मत डरो, बिकॉज जितना गिरोगे आपकी कमियां गिरेंगी और आपकी खूबियां उठेंगी। जय हिंद।
Thank you so much, Gulfam, and congratulations and all the very best to you. Um, आप अपने हर जीत के साथ और अपनी हर मेडल के साथ आपने भी बहुत सारी बेड़ियों को पार किया है, आपने बहुत सारे ऑब्स्टिकल्स को पास किया है, एंड यू आर सच अ ग्रेट इंस्पिरेशन फॉर पीपल कि आप कहाँ पे भी रह रहे हो, आपको अगर मौका नहीं मिला लाइफ में कुछ पाने का, पर अगर आप अपनी शिद्दत से, अपनी मेहनत से, अपने माइंड की स्ट्रेंथ से जो करना चाहे कर सकते हैं। एंड एट रेक्स करमवीर वी टॉक ऑफ कि एक डिग्री या कॉलेज या स्कूल जाने से ही मेयरली एजुकेशन नहीं होता। अगर आपके अंदर वो लालसा है और आपके अंदर वो जुनून है कि मैं लर्निंग टू लर्न, बिकॉज लर्निंग कैन हैपन एनी टाइम, एनीवेयर, इन एनी प्लेस। सो इफ यू हैव दैट माइंडसेट कि मुझे सीखना है और मुझे पढ़ना है और मुझे लाइफ में आगे बढ़ना है, तो कोई ऐसी ताकत नहीं है जो हमें रोक सकती है। एंड दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट योर स्टोरी टॉक्स अबाउट कि डिसेबल होने से भी आपकी एबिलिटी, कैपेबिलिटी टू एंड कैपेसिटी टू ग्रो, बी अ विनर इन द मोस्ट ब्यूटिफुल सेंस, नो वन कैन टेक दैट अवे, वो आपसे कोई नहीं ले सकता। और हमारे जीत हमारे अंदर है, और उस जीत को हम कैसे उभारते हैं और उसको कैसे बाहर निकालते हैं, और कैसे उसके लिए हम अपने लिए प्रेरणा बनते हैं और दूसरों के लिए भी फिर प्रेरणा बनते हैं. Thank you so much, Gulfam. With that, we'll try and play the video of Eric Weinmeier once again. Let's see if we can play the video. Yeah.
Sit. Good boy. Hey, my name is Eric Weinmeier, and I'm here in Golden, Colorado at the American Mountaineering Museum. And this is my guide dog, Yuri. I'm here in front of this exhibit of Mount Everest in 2001. I got the privilege of climbing it. I became the first blind person to do so. But more proud is the fact that 19 of my team reached the summit that day. That was a world record, the most people to reach the summit of Everest in a single day. And that launched me into all sorts of adventures, climbing the 7 summits, the tallest peak in every continent, and just recently getting to kayak the entire length of the Grand Canyon, 277 miles. But I'm most proud of the fact of helping to co-found No Barriers, this organization, this movement that helps people with challenges to break through barriers, to tap into the light of the human spirit and find purpose in their lives. About 20 years ago, I got invited on a climb of this beautiful desert tower by 2 heroes of mine. One is Mark Wellman. He was the first paraplegic to climb El Capitan by doing pull-ups up the rock face for 8 days. And Hugh Herr, who after losing his legs, built his own prosthetic legs and became a better climber than he ever was before that. The 3 of us climbed this beautiful tower and got to spend some time together on the summit. And it was such a profound experience for me because I looked at these 2 people and I said, what, first of all, is inside them? Like, what is that thing inside them that takes hardship, that takes struggle and transforms it into something bigger? And I also wanted to understand the process that people like that went through. You know, this process of being broken, being shattered, being stuck, not being in the place that you want to be. And that murky sort of journey from that place to the summit, whatever that looks like. I really wanted to understand that. And I wanted to understand that map, if there is a map that we can build, that we can navigate in our lives. And that became the beginnings of No Barriers. No Barriers is predicated on this idea that what's within us is stronger than what's in our way. We help people with challenges. That's not just folks like me who are blind with physical disabilities, but folks with invisible barriers. That's most of us. Break through those barriers, tap into the light of the human spirit, find purpose in their lives, and contribute back to the world. When we look at equipping ourselves for this journey of growth in our lives, it's really important to understand the learning process and to break it down into these universal elements, these things that we have to go through, that we have to understand, that we have to confront, that we have to harness along the way so that we go through that journey and we've made some profound change within ourselves and the world. We've identified 7 of these very important elements, and the first begins with vision. Vision is not necessarily looking into the future. It's more looking at what we have inside and trying to grow that thing and trying to use it to blaze our own path forward. Reach is the courage to live in an uncertain way, to push ourselves, to stretch ourselves. Pioneering is this idea of engineering our future, of seeing ourselves as a modern day pioneer, developing systems and strategies and tools that are going to be the foundation to carry us forward. Alchemy is such an important element because when we reach, when we pioneer, inevitably we will be crushed. There will be a moment we are just thrown on our butt. And alchemy is the idea of using the energy of that adversity as a catalyst to propel us forward. Rope team is an idea that came from the mountains because when you're on a glacier, you're actually roped together. You summit together or you die together. And if you are a great road team, you lift each other up. You are the best version of yourself because of that team. And you go to places that you would have never gone to in any other way. Summits is a tricky one because sometimes we're driving towards a summit, and it may be the obvious summit, but there are all kinds of moments along the way that are these awakening moments, these celebratory moments, these little moments of recognition that our lives are moving in the right direction. To elevate is the culmination of the journey. It's not the moment when we stand on top and we pound our chests and say, look at me, look what I've achieved. It's more when we come down the mountain and we use those experiences, those struggles that we've had, those discoveries that we've made to elevate our family, our community, and the world. I'm known for kayaking rivers and climbing mountains, but I think the challenges, the barriers that we face off the mountain are actually more complex, more nuanced. There's more uncertainty in the world, and no barriers is a way of dissecting this process, of understanding what it means, of building tools, of building a new mindset, a new belief system that helps us go forward in really refreshing, transformative ways.
That was very beautiful. It just sums up all that we are talking here and all that we stand for. And I'm going to be reading out, he just sums up that in the playground or in whatever sport or whatever you do in life, how they become the life lessons and how they become true for even whatever is happening in life. Because life is also all about breakdowns and challenges, and how do we go through these challenges. And I'm going to be reading out actually the post that we had put up for this particular edition of sports edition of May. It talks about mindset is your mental outlook and how it helps or hinders your performance in competition or in life. Some gifted people perform better and do better, but it is all about how we inspire each other and help to learn those lessons from the ground and make them come into our lives and practice them in our lives. Resilient souls constantly look to challenging themselves on a daily basis to get to the next level. They stopped thinking about their talent long time ago. Instead, they focused on improving their skills. And that's where transformation happens. And that's where we talk of law of transformation. And that's what we are celebrating today, the resilience and the transformation that comes through our sport and to also through finding our purpose in life. And thank you so much. With that, we move on to our next speaker. Kuldeep ji, over to you.
सबसे पहले नमस्ते एंड गुड इवनिंग टू एवरीवन। मैं अपना इंट्रोडक्शन देना चाहूँगा आप लोगों को। मैं हूँ कुलदीप सिंह बेस्ट और मैं हेड कोच हूँ इस वक्त दिल्ली हरिकेन्स रग्बी फुटबॉल क्लब का, जो कि इस वक्त देश का सबसे बेस्ट क्लब है। Besides this, I am a yoga teacher, a fitness consultant. I also work for the government. और मैं अपनी जिंदगी में एज ए फिटनेस कंसल्टेंट योगा टीचर बहुत सी फील्ड के लोगों को ट्रेन कर चुका हूँ, जिसमें फिल्म एक्टर्स आते हैं, मॉडल्स आते हैं, स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन्स आते हैं। और ऋतिक जो हमारे बीच में है, मैं इनको भी 2000 के आसपास ट्रेन कर चुका हूँ फॉर फ्यू डेज। तो जो मकसद है इस वक्त दिल्ली हरिकेन्स को टॉप में पहुंचाने का, वो तो पूरा हो चुका है, एज वी आर चैंपियन फॉर लास्ट 3 years। लेकिन साथ में जो मैंने सोचा था कि एज ए कोच जो मुझे सबसे ज्यादा सेटिस्फाई किया है वो क्या, आई वाज एबल टू हेल्प इन इंप्रूविंग द लाइव्स ऑफ यंग किड्स बाय गिविंग देम अपॉर्चुनिटीज टू एक्सप्रेस देमसेल्व्स ऑन द फील्ड एंड लर्न द बेस्ट गेम ऑन द प्लेनेट। जो मेरा मकसद था ये, और इंक्लूसिवनेस ऑफ अंडर प्रिविलेज चिल्ड्रन एंड गर्ल्स, ये मेरा ध्येय था पहले से ही। और आज मैं अपनी टीम के माध्यम से इस ध्येय को पूरा कर पा रहा हूँ, इसकी मुझे बहुत खुशी है। कहानी मेरी अब शुरू होती है जब मैं एक दिल्ली में एक साधारण परिवार में पैदा हुआ। 4 भाई बहनों में मैं सबसे बड़ा था। और जैसे कि भारत या मतलब पूरे विश्व में होता है कि जब आप छोटी उम्र में, शरीर से मैं एक पतला इंसान था, तो लोग, आसपास के बच्चे सब मेरी बहुत हंसी उड़ाया करते थे। और ये मेरे कहीं दिल पे लगी थी, लेकिन दिल से ज्यादा जो दिमाग में मेरे चोट पहुंची, उससे उभरने में मुझे कई साल लगे। जैसे कि हर इंसान भारत में या कहीं भी छोटी उम्र में हर स्पोर्ट्स खेलता है, तो मैंने भी हर स्पोर्ट खेला। बट व्हेन आई वाज 15-16 years old, I was considered a prodigy in cricket. तो क्रिकेट ने सब कुछ मेरा टुक ओवर कर लिया। लेकिन जब मैं इसमें आगे नहीं जा पाया ड्यू टू वेरियस रीजंस, क्रिकेट को मैं आगे उस मुकाम पे नहीं ले जा सका जहां मुझे लोग सोचते थे कि मैं जा सकता हूं। तो लोगों ने इसके लिए भी मुझे बहुत ताने कसे, और जिसकी वजह से मुझे इस गेम को छोड़ना पड़ा तकरीबन 2 साल के लिए। लेकिन पैसे की तंगी की वजह से फैमिली में मुझे क्रिकेट दोबारा खेलना स्टार्ट करना पड़ा एज ए प्रोफेशनल क्रिकेटर। एंड आई प्लेड क्रिकेट फॉर नेक्स्ट 2 years। और जिसके बाद 1990 में मुझे क्रिकेट छोड़नी पड़ी, क्योंकि अब मेरा दिल क्रिकेट में लगता नहीं था। इस बीच मैंने कुछ छोटी मोटी नौकरियां भी की, लेकिन वो भी मुझे सेटिस्फाई नहीं कर पाई। एंड 1990 में मैंने इंदिरा गांधी नेशनल ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी ज्वाइन की एज ए क्लर्क। और 5 साल तक, जो कि मेरे दिल में जो बैठी हुई थी बात की मुझे किसी भी तरीके से स्ट्रांग होना है, तो 5 साल मैंने जिम में जी तोड़ मेहनत की और अपने शरीर पे पूरा मैं अपना काम करता रहा। और बहुत जल्दी ही मैंने अपना बॉडी को अच्छा बना लिया और काफी स्ट्रांग हो चुका था मैं पहले से, और मेरे अंदर थोड़ा बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस वापस आ चुका था। लेकिन इसी बीच 1995 में वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड बॉनी मलिक, जिन्होंने मुझे रग्बी से इंट्रोड्यूस करवाया। एंड एज यू ऑल नो दैट rugby is a very tough sport, very physical. But playing with the foreigners and getting into one of the toughest sports, जो मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस था वो बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ा। और मैंने रियलाइज किया कि मैं धीरे धीरे अपना बेटर वर्जन बनता जा रहा हूँ। और सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज मेरे लिए रग्बी उतना बड़ा चैलेंज नहीं था, जितना बड़ा चैलेंज था मुझे कम्युनिकेशन कंटिन्यू करना विद फॉरेनर्स, क्योंकि हमारी टीम में ज्यादातर सभी फॉरेनर्स थे। एंड इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज के नाम से ही शिवरिंग आ जाती थी बॉडी में, तो उनको समझना। और इत्तेफाक की बात है कि उन्होंने मुझे इंटरप्रेटर बना दिया अपने ग्रुप का, तो वो मेरे लिए मतलब शॉकिंग था, लेकिन किसी भी तरीके से मैंने वो मैनेज किया। बट आज आई कैन स्पीक लिटिल बिट इंग्लिश एंड आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड ऑल्सो। तो ये एक मेरी अचीवमेंट रही। लेकिन दिल्ली रग्बी क्लब जिससे मैं जुड़ा हुआ था, सबसे पहला ब्रेक उन्होंने मुझे दिया जब हम नैरोबी कीनिया गए वर्ल्ड के एक प्रेस्टिजियस सफारी सेवन्स टूर्नामेंट खेलने के लिए। एंड आई वाज वन ऑफ द 4 Indians who have been selected for that tournament. वहां हम कुछ अच्छा खास तो नहीं कर सके, but effort I put in before the tournament and during the tournament, it was praised by everyone, even my teammates and other players from different countries. And उसने मुझे एक बूस्ट दिया। बट लाइफ हमेशा एक जैसी तो चलती नहीं है, और जैसा कि अंशु जी के साथ हुआ था, तो मेरे साथ भी एक हादसा हुआ और 2001 में मैं अपने फादर को खो बैठा ड्यू टू कैंसर। और ठीक जैसे इन्होंने बताया था कि फादर की 13वीं थी और नेक्स्ट डे हमारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट टूर्नामेंट था दिल्ली में, तो मैं तो जाने के लिए तैयार नहीं था, लेकिन किसी भी तरीके से मेरे परिवार ने कहा नहीं आप यहाँ से निकल लो और आप इस टूर्नामेंट को खेलो। तो नेक्स्ट डे मैं ग्राउंड पर था टूर्नामेंट खेलने के लिए। लेकिन 3 महीने बाद ही मैं अपनी इंडियन टीम के साथ फिर बहरीन टूर पे था। इससे पहले जो मेरा टूर्नामेंट डेब्यू था, जब लोगों को मेरे ऊपर कॉन्फिडेंस था कि भाई कभी इंडियन टीम बनेगी तो मैं इंडिया खेलूंगा, तो वो मौका मुझे बड़ी जल्दी मिला और 1998 में इंडियन टीम फॉर्म की हुई फर्स्ट टाइम, एंड दिल्ली से मैं इकलौता प्लेयर था जो उस टीम में सिलेक्ट हुआ। बट नाउ अब भी मैं अपने फादर की मौत से 3 महीने बाद बहरीन में एशियन बॉल टूर्नामेंट खेलने के लिए पहुंचा हुआ था। लेकिन इंटरनेशनल रग्बी जर्नी मेरी खत्म हुई 2003 में आफ्टर इंग्लैंड टूर, जहाँ पे हम दुनिया के वन ऑफ द बेस्ट क्लब्स लेस्टर टाइगर्स क्लब के साथ मैचेस खेले और अदर 2 क्लब्स परशो और कवेंट्री के लिए खेले। एंड इस अचीवमेंट पे मुझे बहुत गर्व है, जो मैं अपनी जर्नी देखता हूँ शुरू से और जो अब जहाँ पहुंचा हूँ, तो उस जर्नी से मैं बहुत खुश था। मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस अब काफी हद तक वापस आ चुका था। लेकिन इस बीच जो कि मैं पहले नहीं कर सका था क्रिकेट में, जब सबको उम्मीद था कि मैं इंडिया खेलूंगा, लेकिन मैं कभी इंडिया नहीं खेल पाया। और आज देखो रग्बी जो कि बहुत कम लोग इंडिया में जानते थे तब के टाइम पे, अब तो काफी पॉपुलर हो चुका है। और मैंने इंडिया रिप्रेजेंट किया रग्बी में फॉर 5 इयर्स और आई एम वेरी प्राउड ऑफ दैट। इस बीच मैंने दिल्ली हरिकेन्स रग्बी फुटबॉल क्लब की स्थापना की 2004 में, वन ऑफ माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड विक्रम और मेरे सीनियर प्लेयर्स के साथ। और हमारा जो मकसद था इसमें प्लेयर्स को आगे तक पहुंचाना। मैंने कोचिंग का जिम्मा लिया और 2009 में ठीक 5 साल बाद हम पहला टूर्नामेंट जीते, नेशनल डिवीजन 2। ये कम अचीवमेंट नहीं थी हम लोगों के लिए। तो इसी बीच मेरे दोस्त ने कहा कि भाई हम क्यों ना रग्बी एकेडमी खोलें। तो उन्होंने सारा इंतजाम किया, वसंत कुंज में रग्बी फील्ड तैयार हुआ, एंड वो रग्बी फील्ड फिर हमें दी गई एंड वी ओपन एन एकेडमी देयर, जिसमें हमने प्लेयर्स को ढूंढा स्कूल्स में, डिफरेंट डिस्कोथेक में बाउंसर्स वगैरह हम लेके आए और उनको हमने वहां पे खिलाया। और देखिए कि आज पिछले 3 साल से मैं फ्रॉम 2017 टू 2019 वी आर नेशनल चैंपियंस इन डिवीजन 1। तो ये दर्शाता है कि अगर आदमी ठान ले तो क्या नहीं कर सकता। और आज जो सबसे ज्यादा इंडिया में प्लेयर्स दिए जाते हैं वो दिल्ली हरिकेन्स के थ्रू ही जाते हैं, एंड हम ऑलमोस्ट 50 प्लेयर्स इंडियन टीम को अभी तक दे चुके हैं, डिफरेंट एज ग्रुप्स में एंड दोनों जेंडर्स में, मेल एंड फीमेल्स में। एंड जो हमारा मकसद था कि हम लड़कियों को इंक्लूड करें इसमें और अंडर प्रिविलेज चिल्ड्रन को हम इंक्लूड करें, तो वो मकसद हमारा कामयाब होता हुआ दिख रहा है। हमने सिर्फ टैलेंट के बल पे गरीबों को इस टीम में स्थान दिया है और आज वो सिर्फ हरिकेन्स नहीं इंडिया भी रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, एंड इसका मैं बहुत प्राउड है। नाउ मैं खत्म करना चाहूंगा अपनी बात को, और आप सबका थैंक्स करना चाहूंगा और मुझे सुनने के लिए इतनी बेताबी से। लेकिन खत्म करने से पहले मैं एक बात कहना चाहूंगा कि एक बात का ध्यान जिंदगी में रखें कि नेवर काउंट योरसेल्फ आउट अंटिल यू आर फिनिश्ड। और जाते जाते मैं एक फ्रेज कहना चाहूंगा, ख्वाब जिंदा रखो वो पूरे भी होते हैं। थैंक यू एंड शुक्रिया।
Thank you so much, Kuldeep ji. And that's the most beautiful learning कि आपको अपने ऊपर ट्रस्ट रहना चाहिए कि अगर आप एक आई हैव सीन अ लॉट ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स पीपल जो एक गेम खेलते हैं वो सब गेम्स में अच्छे हो जाते हैं, बिकॉज उन्होंने उनको वो बात पता चल जाती है कि खेल माइंड ओवर बॉडी है. If you can train your mind to do what you want to do, you can actually play with that same fervor any of the games. And हमें अपने ऊपर ट्रस्ट रखना चाहिए. The thought that dedication कि मेरा sport is my devotion is what everybody has portrayed here. No matter what happens in life, no matter how many breakdowns we have, एक responsibility to be able to go ahead even when life is challenging us is what sports teaches us. So thank you so much, Kuldeep ji. और मैं ये बात बहुत बारी बोलती हूँ कि it's our character, और Rex Karamveer पे हम ये we talk about that. It's not just talks, but ideas for action is what makes you, your karma, your actions make you who you are. And your character is, if it's strong, then you can learn anything. We can learn anything in the world. And if it's your character that takes you forward, it's not your competence. Because skills तो हम learn कर सकते हैं as we go. पर अगर हमारे character में कुछ missing है, अगर हमारे में वो tenacity, वो honesty, वो integrity, वो devotion, वो जज्बा ही नहीं है कि हम अपने आप को ट्रांसफॉर्म कर लें, तो बहुत मुश्किल होती है. So thank you so much, Kuldeep ji. I'm also going to touch upon one of the biggest coaches that the world has seen, John Wooden. And I'm missing Jerry a lot today because he brings he is the wonderful Sutradhar. And वो जैसे इतनी beautifully सूत्र में पिरोते हैं उसको. It's a tall order for me, but I'm trying to accomplish it. We've always done it together. As a teacher, as a coach, John Wooden he's always taught his students not to just have academic success and more grades, but वो score को मत देखे, खाली वो score को नहीं देखे, because victory is more about, it's not just numbers. Victory is more about crossing those barriers. Victory is more about winning, not just in the court, but also in life. And इसलिए John Wooden की teachings or his pyramid of success has become learnings for coaches all over the world who teach us that it's your behavior. If we change the behaviors and patterns and habits, and that's how we become successful. So as I was talking earlier, that sports not only helps us to become better human beings, it also helps our mental health, and it also helps people across the myriad of milieus to help us to learn better. So Kuldeep ji, thank you so much. And with that, now we are going to again play another legendary story of Peter Bannister, of an athlete, of a runner who managed to break the barrier again of that, as I said earlier, it's the mind over body, how we train our mind and how we equip our mind and how we break those barriers and move ahead. So we're going to play the life learning lessons from Peter Bannister's story, who was an English British athlete, whose story is and whose life is strewn with learning, which is also used all over the world till date. So we're going to play that for everyone and for us to inspire and learn once again.
The 4-minute mile was going to be broken either by John Landy in Australia or Wes Santee in America or by me, and I was determined that I would do it. The main memory was whether the weather was too bad for me to be able to attempt it. If you are running with a high wind and a sticky track, then your time would have to be 4 seconds faster than it would be on an ideal day. And I was watching the flag on the church just in the Iffley Road, north of the track, and it was fluttering very strongly. But then just before we decided to have the race, it fluttered less strongly, and I realized that the weather was improving perhaps enough to make the full effort. And so I told Chris Brasher and Chris Chataway, it's on. It was the year after Everest had been climbed, the year after the coronation, but we were then struggling, I think, in this country to find a new kind of an initiative. Perhaps they said, well, the record can't go on indefinitely improving, so there must come a point when it stops. That might be at 4 minutes. So the Swedes gave up, saying, look, it's not possible, we can't do it. And John Landy ran 4 minutes and 2 seconds several times. And then he said, it's like a brick wall. Now, as a medical student, it didn't seem to me logical that it was not possible to knock off a couple of seconds. On the first lap, I felt so full of running because I hadn't done any training deliberately for about 5 days. But then in the third lap, we slipped back to 3 minutes and 1 second. And Chris Chataway then went into the lead. But I felt that I had to do the last lap in under 60 seconds. I felt almost that the finish line was receding from me. It was so difficult to put all my energy. I was just able to reach the line, and then I collapsed because others were holding me up. And about a minute or two later, there was the announcement. The result of Event 8 is R.G. Bannister of Exeter and Merton Colleges in a time which, subject to ratification, will be a new British record, a new all-comers record, a new empire record, a new European record, and a new world record in a time of 3. And that was when all the crowd exploded and cheered, and nothing more was heard. We do all look for challenges, especially when we're young, and I was very glad that it could be done on the Oxford track.
That's what legends are made of, and that if you train your mind and talk to your mind, you can do anything. And that's what they say, my mindset is your mental outlook on how it helps, hinders your performance in competition. The theory of mindset also offers cues in helping understand an athlete's motivation to perform. With a fixed mindset and beliefs, an athlete is motivated to prove oneself and receive praises. Whereas with the growth mindset, the motivation is to work hard, develop, persist, and transform and do better. So that's a huge lesson, and it's a legend and a story which is world renowned, and it also helps people to become better human beings. How every story here, or all the stories that we're listening, helps us to become a better human being and to perform better on the field of life, because that's what is more important. With that, we move on to Ritvik. Thank you, Ritvik. Ritvik is also associated with us since a very long time. Ritvik is an international squash player and a name to reckon in the country as far as the sport is concerned. Ritvik has also been part of the MoJOsh Learning to Learn Mills program that we started for the youth in 2020, where we brought in people from across the globe. And out of those 100 mentors, Ritvik is one of the mentors who is talking about passion, who's talking as passiopreneur, who's talking about make passion your profession, and how your passion, your perseverance, your persistent, consistent, tenacious hard work can take you places. So over to you, Ritvik, and let's hear your inspiring story. Thank you so much. Ritvik, you're frozen for some reason. Are you there?
I'm having really it's great to be over here.
Ritvik, we're having some tech glitches today. Yeah. Ritvik, we can't see you and hear you.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me now?
It's breaking a
Can
little.
you hear me now?
Yes, we can. No, we can't hear you again.
Okay.
It's a little feeble and it's breaking a little.
Just give me a minute and let me log on again.
Okay. We'll wait for you.
Okay.
You're there, Ritvik?
Is it better now?
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Okay. Firstly, thank you. Great to be over here. Heard some great stories from Anshu, Kuldeep. Sir, how are you? Good to see you. And even Gulfam, great to see you and see the passion that you're working with. Fantastic work. I don't know where to start, just what I will share with you today would be more with what we can do, with the future. Because, I've been playing squash now for 25, 30 years. And I traveled all over the world because of it, got more exposure, opened my mind a lot, and a lot of experiences. And then, when I stopped playing squash in 2010, 11, my thought was more, what do I do next? And, so because once you stop playing your sport professionally, most sportsmen have a point or a stumbling block of where we go next, and so for me, it was more to really, when I stopped playing, to think about what all I was interested in doing and how I would want to give back to the sport and to the next generation. And for me, always there was to be a thought was that, when all of us are 11, 12 years old, we all are world champions. I genuinely believe that, there's, at that age, you can transform yourself. You can pretty much, with your imagination, change your whole future. And, I've seen kids now over the last 15, 20 years of training kids as well. I've seen kids who have transformed themselves, they've become taller. How do I give federation Blue, I drove out in the morning and came to meet these friends, and I was like, wow, this is a beautiful place, and I wish we could do something over here. And my friend Munish, he basically turned around and told me that there is a piece of land which you could possibly get. So I said, let me go check it out. And I went there and it was touching this tribal village. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. And, it got me thinking about what would I do if I had a piece of land, in somewhere in the world. And I was like, okay, at least one thing should be there, is I should have one squash court. And I was like, okay, so slowly over since 2010, 11 is when I'm talking about when I stopped playing. And, by the time I think the universe changes your thought process and, transforms you as well with the right intent and the right passion. And today in 2000, so slowly one brick at a time, we made a squash court over here, right outside the city in a tribal village called Kalote Mukashi. And there were people from the Nirguda tribe over here. And this is about 5 kilometers away from the Marathi village, and with no road, and really a dark village. And today is 2022. We have a squash academy over here. We have a boxing academy over here. We are training 60 tribal kids on the national squash circuit, and a few of them are ranked in the under 17 category. There's a woman, Bijli, who has been training 6-7 years with us now, who's Bijli Darwada. She's ranked in the world now. And top 16 in India. The point I'm trying to make over here is that, we have unlimited power. If we all put our hands together and really use sport to develop the next generation, we would be doing a huge service, because this is one industry And Kuldeep sir will tell me with all his industries that he's been part of, that we have unlimited talent in India. And if we could channel that talent and not only educate them with studies, and I'm not against that, that's definitely required. And how to speak in English and different languages and things like that, but also with sport, and not just sport, but high performance sport with the best teachers, with the best trainers, with the best facilities. And today, unfortunately, we are going around making big stadiums where no one is playing. Most of our facilities have no legacy, so they sort of crumble within a few years. There's huge challenges to really allow everyone to play. The schools are doing a great job. There's some clubs doing a great job, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, you take a country like any country in Europe, in America, they have mini leagues, they have junior leagues, they have kids playing matches. For example, in an international squash player, junior under 19, would be playing about 1,000 matches a year. In India, we are playing at most 50 matches a year, competitive. So in 3 years, there's no comparison of what development will happen. For that, we need to really go into the grassroots. We need to have many more centers of excellence where people are invested with their time and effort to genuinely give the next dare to even say we want to be world champions, and no one can take away our dreams in our head. If I want to tell myself I want to be world champion, I can. No one has the right to tell me that I'm wrong, and if we sleep with that thought, and our coaches and our team and our whole group of individuals keep reinforcing this to the next generation, a lot is possible. There's no reason why we're not dominating in every sport. But the unfortunate thing today is that like, for example, these tribal kids, if they wanted to go and train in a stadium, it wouldn't be allowed in. Most of the clubs are very inclusive, and they'll be like, you can only train our members, you can only do this, you can only do that. So we have already we don't even open clubs to people to train at early morning or late night, but we have nightclubs open, and kids can go there till 3 in the morning. So are we really tapping the potential and giving a chance to kids who might not be able to play in the day, or they might need to train more, and the facilities or the members or the parents are not allowing them? So lots of, and using sport to develop, or are we having centers of excellence all across where everyone is really nurturing them? And it keeps reminding me about this world champion Australian coach, and he was running the Australian Sports Institute, and someone asked him that, when is the next world champion coming from? And he's like, my concern is not to create the next world champion. My concern is to have a place, an environment conducive enough so that when the next world champion comes, he has everything he needs to become the world champion. And we have to have more places, people, and support around genuinely who are thinking of giving, and not saying that, at step one only, what can we take and how can we earn our living and everything else. We need to genuinely have centers of excellence where we are thinking about how we can make this whole talent pool. And I've been traveling a lot, even during the lockdown. We've been to North India, seen a lot of things in Punjab, and lots of towns. I was driving up in Rajasthan as well, and I'm just seeing kids who are just sitting there with no dream in their eyes. They are waiting for everything to come together, for the universe to give them a chance. And we are trying to do that with sports, with education, and our education system is evolving rapidly. But unfortunately, in sports, we are not really looking at it. We aren't giving access to people. It's only individual talent and support. And all our champions from India, not because of systemic support, they're because individual passion and brilliance, and excellence, and really not giving up. And why? I don't get it. Why, if even sportsmen are taking over and running systems and countries and the sporting excellence in the country, why we are not really letting? I think it's a fundamental right for every kid to be able to play as well. And we genuinely need to be able to provide every kid some activity, from yoga to hitting a ball to punching a punching bag to a mat to do some front rolls to a ground to which has grass on it to be able to run around and play with your friends. That's been really denied to many to 70-80% of our population, just because it's not there. And it's not important enough. Kids are dying of hunger and there's so much poverty around, so we haven't focused on it. But I really feel we are missing a beat over here, because if we use sport and we develop sport, we will solve all our big problems, because you will get kids who feel entitled to eat and entitled to drink and feel entitled to train and feel entitled to be healthy and dress well and play and represent themselves and their villages and their cities and their teams, So it's possible. I wanted to really share saying that let's all, as a movement, think about how we can use sport. And you had Eric Weimeier, who is an insane athlete, and I was watching something where he's done something with Will Smith recently. And he's gone and seen an active volcano, and he's traveled to the Arctic and Antarctic. And then Roger Bannister, I mean, how he transcended his mind, because it was decided medically that we can't do a 4-minute mile, And he broke that barrier, and within three months, I think all the top athletes broke it as well. So it's all about a mindset. And if we can change our own mindset and actually say that, as a fundamental right, every kid deserves to play and to be given the best facilities and training, we would have a country of world champions. We have that much talent. But so that's the only thing I want to leave everyone over here with, because we are talking about sports, that we generally need to think about, after getting so much from sport, how we can really share it. And I'm really proud to say that, which has been set up 3-4 years back. And every community center in the country next to a village should have a sporting facility in it, and a good coach who can really guide these kids. We're putting teachers over there, but we're not putting good coaches and trainers. And that's the people these are the kids who can really excel in sport and make themselves proud and make themselves rich as well. You can earn a lot of money now in sport, unlike 25-30 years ago, where in India there wasn't those options and possibilities. But today a professional athlete can make a good living and an honest living and a proud living as well, and a lot of parents need to really look at that and give unconditional support, not conditional support and put pressure and mention how much time, effort, and money has gone into helping that kid achieve or join a club or whatever it is. Because you're not doing that when you tell them you go to school. I put you in the school, you're not saying that. But when you say, I've got you this class with Kuldeep sir, then it'll be like, oh, why is it costing so much? For example. So thank you again for having me here, and hope we can all make this happen. Because one thing sportsmen know and sportswomen know is, if you dream and you sleep on it and you really eat, sleep, drink, breathe your sport, then you can achieve anything. And so if you all dream right and think about all the can have, and we can have many more.
Ritvik, we lost you in the last one. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ritvik. We lost you a little bit, but thank you so much. You touched upon such important, pertinent points of contribution, of giving back, where, as you say, that, in your centers of excellence. And this is what we talk at Rex, Karamveer. And these are the takeaways and learnings from what you just said, that are you a contributor? Are you creating a legacy of a better world? Are you helping the world become a better place? Are you doing what you have, the skills, the beauty, the learning that you have? Are you sharing it with the world to help it make better? Are you sharing it with your community, with your people? Are you touching upon the last mile or the last person? Because, as you said, that sports can help us to make the world a better place as well.
Sure.
So instead of the, very entitled, the E3 entrapment that we talk about, that, we people feel entitled that they're educated or they are rich, or, they have, they can reach out to few things, so they are better. But Jerry talks about this anecdote a lot, that once when he was speaking with Milkha Singh, and the fastest runner, a journalist asked him that, tell us who is going to be the next big champion. And Jerry had said it's going to be from some back of beyond. And lo and behold, Himas Das became the champion and the fastest runner thereafter. But what our mindset makes us think is that, it made a lot of people Google and find her caste, that where is she from, what is her caste. That makes us think that, how contrived, or our thinking is so twisted at times, that we cannot see the goodness and the good part of things, and to help people come up. And what you just said, Ritvik, about you through the COVID times, you had been going around the country and looking for students that you can bring, and in your academy, which helps the students or people from last mile, you're in the villages, your center of excellence is in the tribal area. It goes on to say that they have the right, and they should also have the whereabout to learn and bring out their best. So thank you so much, Kuldeep. Sorry, Ritvik. And with that, we come to our last, but not our last speaker. We keep the best for the last. We come to Tanaz. And Tanaz, over to you to talk about your beautiful, inspiring story.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everyone. As Itu gave me the title that best for the last, I will try my best to keep it as engaging for everyone. And first of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come on this platform and share my story and inspire even at least a few people. So my story is actually of a girl, I can say, who was a very shy and timid girl, who is now leading her life, setting examples through sports as a tool. And I am trying to reach out to people because of sports. As Ritvik likely said, and I agree to a lot of things while he was mentioning, when it's about infrastructure, when it's about the exposure, and a lot of work that I do on those grounds. So yeah, that I can link to a lot of things. So to start with, I started my journey into sports when I was a 7-year-old. I started with track and field. I was a kid who never really spoke that much. A very shy girl, never knew how to talk a lot to people, always to myself. And then one fine day, I decided to go and participate into a track and field race for my school. And my parents were a little shocked to know that, because that coming from me wasn't really expected. But then they were very supportive, and they said, you can go ahead and give it a try. I started with track and field. I was running races for my school. And at the age of 8.5, I realized that my school has a hockey team. And that was the big blow, because I decided I want to play hockey when I was 8.5. And I went and I told my parents that I want to play hockey. It was a little shocking for them, because no one before me, or now also no one after me, has played hockey in my family. I'm the only one who's played hockey. So it was a little shocking, but my parents were, again, supportive enough, and they said that, okay, yeah, you can go and try. So I went on playing hockey throughout my school days and my college life. And hockey is the sport that actually changed me. I think today, if I am sitting here and even able to talk and address a crowd, it's mainly because of hockey, because hockey developed my personality. And that's when I realized that what wonder a sport can do to you. Because I was someone looking at me, because I was good in my academics, everyone thought I would get into, I would either become a doctor or a CA, and that's how it goes. But when sports came along, my personality developed. I was a girl who knew how to speak. I was a girl who knew how to express herself, and hockey did that for me. So I went on playing hockey at the national level. I even attended a junior India camp. Unfortunately, couldn't represent the country. I was in the top 50 list, but then, sorry, top 30 list, but then I was out on health issues, and I wasn't selected. But I still went on playing. I played international at the club level, and that's what hockey did for me. While playing hockey till my grads, everything was going fine. But then after graduation, as every person, I think, when it comes to the youth suffers, is what next? What are you going to do? And as an individual, I went ahead, tried doing a lot of jobs. That was the biggest low phase of my life. I can say almost 2.5, 3 years of my life, because I tried n number of jobs, tried n number of things just to figure out what I want to do. I even tried a management job, worked there only for 3 months, couldn't go ahead with it because a 9 to 5 thing just wasn't my thing. I was trying to do a lot of things and completely failing at it because I didn't know what to look after, or where can I grow, what can I do. I wanted to be connected to sports, but sports was my calling, but I didn't know how I would go ahead with it. So what I did for myself was I started researching about careers in sports and what I could do. I figured out a very small link towards sports management in our country. And I started researching about that, figured out that there is sports management in our country, but it's a growing industry, nothing that is very big or very fancy. But then I said, okay, let me give it a try. Went ahead, I found out about the sports management course, and I said, okay, I think this is what I want to do. And I went and I shared the idea with my parents. Of course, it was a conversation that took place for almost 2 weeks just to decide, because the fee amount was a little on the higher end, and how would we go ahead with it? How can we do it? So after all the decision making, I was enrolled into the sports management course. And while I got into the course, two things were very important for me, that education and sports. I made sure that I take both hand in hand and I go ahead. So that year, I ended up playing at the national level. I played the national hockey tournament, women's national hockey tournament in Bangalore. And all thanks to the hard work that I put in, I was entitled with the title of the the student of the year and the gold medalist of the year. So that was the high point, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I have done. But again came the low point, because I was the only one from my batch who didn't have an internship. And as we all know, internships and jobs play a very important role in our life when we are from humble backgrounds, from middle class background, because that is what supports you. And again, I went into a great thinking zone that what am I going to do? Because this is what I wanted to do. I have done this. My education is done. I have taken sports and education together with me. But then what next? How am I going to achieve the next set of it? And for almost 1.5 months, I didn't have any internship. Then I got a call from my professor, and he told me that it's a internship with a football club, and would you be interested? As I was desperate to get an internship, I went on saying yes. And after the entire conversation was done, I disconnected. Then hits the reality that it's football, Tanas. It's not hockey. You have decided to come into a sport where what you don't know the whereabouts it. No doubt I played football as a hockey player. It was my secondary sport, but I didn't know what football is about. Then I again called back my professor and I said, so I'm really interested in the internship, but I don't know what is the ongoing thing of football. I am not aware of it. And the only thing I was told is, you know what hockey is? Football is somewhat similar. Just get into it and we'll see how it goes. I said, okay, fine. Then I sat with myself for almost a week or so. And I told myself, Anas, don't take this as a drawback that, you're in a different sport or something. Take this as an opportunity. You have a blank canvas in front of you. And if you have a blank canvas, what you paint on it, it's your lookout. So why don't you go and try to build a picture for yourself? And now 6 years after being into this beautiful game of football, I can proudly say that through football, I represented the country at the global level. I am a member of the FIFA fan movement. I have also, my story is covered by Premier League for the work that I am doing in football. And when I decided to upgrade myself, I made sure that education comes along with me, because it plays a very important part of your life. So when I started upgrading myself in football, I made sure I do the best of it. And right now I am a head coach educator, and I am qualified enough to train other coaches so that they can make a career into the sport. The thing about giving back to the sport, what was missing during my journey was the fact that I didn't have someone to show me the path or show me where exactly what I have to do. And that was the calling that struck in me. I said, why not make this as my strength and this as my motive to reach out to people, to guide them, that sports is now available as a career. Sports can be a full-time career. You can make a career into sport, and there are opportunities that you can look after. I also try to reach out to parents who are sometimes strict enough for the kids that no, you have to take a certain stream and you have to make a career. So I let them know that no matter, you want your kid to take science, let them take science, but through science also they can be related to a sport, because now we have a team of doctors who are working. Sports has professionalized so much in our country and globally. So let it be science, let it be engineering, let it be arts, let it be commerce, whatever stream you like, you can take it, but you can be connected to your sport. So now by all the hard work put in from every person who's worked towards this aim, we don't have to choose between education and sports. You can take both together hand in hand and go ahead. And the second main motive where I work towards is reaching out to the underprivileged, or reaching out to the middle class, because I feel underprivileged, we have a lot of NGOs who come forward and work for them. Of course, the privileged ones can afford. I think the ones who are always caught in the grind are the middle class, because sometimes middle class don't come in the NGOs category. Middle class can't afford the higher end, but what about their dreams? So I make sure that I conduct awareness programs. I reach out to such youths, let it be girls or boys, reach out to them, let them know about the opportunities if possible, and if in my take, I can provide them a ground where they can come and experience the sport. If nothing else, just experience what the sport is about. If you want to make a career into it, provide them with the awareness, provide them with the opportunity that is available and how they can grow into it. And secondly, we are a country of billions. I mean, not everyone can represent the country, but there is a lot that takes behind that team of 11. So when we talk about 11 playing for the country, there is a whole team, there is a whole force that's behind them that can actually work as a family and go ahead and work towards the betterment of the sport. So my main most important aim is to build a culture of sports in our country. I am leading my path through hockey and football. If need be, I am sure I can try and get into other sports just to help and grow this motive and take all of us under one umbrella and help everyone grow towards the betterment of sports in our country. And to end with, the message that I would like to give through my journey is don't stop trying. You don't fail when you stop. You don't fail when you're trying, but you might fail if you stop. So keep trying. When you try, you keep learning a lot of lessons about you, about things that you're trying for. So it is very important to keep trying. And secondly, don't be in a competition with anyone else. You are not here to prove someone else wrong and prove yourself better, but be a competition for your own self. So if today you are here, try to reach here. If tomorrow you are here, try to reach here, because I believe everyone on this earth is here for their own possible reasons. We have our own journeys. So embrace your journey, try to make the better of your journey and contribute towards the bigger cause of the betterment of humans, betterment of humanity, betterments of humans through sports that we have the opportunity. So try to grow like an umbrella. Everyone grows together. Everyone is under the same umbrella and we make the most of it. So yeah, that's the kind of work I look ahead at doing, and I will continue doing what I am doing right now. So thank you so much for giving me this platform, and thank you so much for listening to me. And yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanaz. I'm sure the audience listening into us right now, we've been live for almost 1.5 hours, and your story, along with all the stories that we've said, heard today, absolutely, like Gilbert and everyone's story, Kuldeep's, Ritwik's, Anshu's, Gulfam's, all these stories are such inspiring stories. And at the end of the day, at the helm of it, it all talks about the shift in the mindset, that the mindset of the champions is flexible and strong. That flexibility to shift, change gears, and find within you to rise above, as we say in Kaizen, that continuous improvement every day. And I'm sure each one of you would agree with me that, to be able to do what you do is a lot of hard work, as you said, is behind. There's continuous training, continuous work ahead, and eat, drink, and sleep your sport every day. And that is a beautiful learning that we can take into our lives. I, as a mindset or a NLP practitioner or a yoga practitioner, also talk about it. There is miles to go before I sleep, because every day gives us an opportunity to better ourselves. So thank you so much, Tanal. That was beautiful story. And thank you to each one of you who've joined us. Each one of you becomes our Rex Karamveer Fellow as of today. Kuldeep ji is our Rex Karamveer Maharatna from the cohort of 2019. And we hope to see each one of you again. Ritvik has been associated for us and inspiring the Rex Karamveer fraternity and the world over. And Anshu, Gulfam are also Rex Karamveer fellows. But each one of you again is invited and will come into the fold when we have our next cohort in 2022. Inshallah, we are saying fingers crossed. So thank you so much. And before we wind up, if there's anything that each one of you would like to say with 1 minute to each one of you in the end, please go ahead.
So may I please start alphabetically again? So
Okay.
my time starts now, and I know the value of 60 seconds because I need to hold those bells for 10 minutes in the set. So thank you to each one of the members here for inspiring me. And we are all here to learn, as I say. The prominent thing that I would again add on is hurdles are many. It can just take different forms. I have faced hurdle in forms of at times family issues, my training issues. I recently played last week and I could not finish a 5-minute snatch set. Have faith. Just one day down, I again played 5 minutes, at my place, and I could finish that set. Because it was my mind which kept on telling me, you did not achieve what you trained for so long. So as we use the word resilience, and non-stop perseverance is something you need to have. Success is a byproduct. It will come. So thank you. And thank you again for making me a part of this great community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Kuldeep ji, Ritvik, Gulfam, Tanaz, anybody would like to say some parting words?
नहीं, मैं सिर्फ इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा कि दुनिया में आपको गिराने वाले तो होते हैं लोग, लेकिन उठाने वाले भी बहुत लोग होते हैं. तो मेरी जिंदगी में बहुत लोगों का रोल है मुझे और मेरे क्लब को हेल्प करने में. तो मैं यहाँ उन सबके नाम तो नहीं ले सकता, बट मैं थैंक्स करना चाहूँगा उनको भी और आप लोगों को भी मुझे सुनने के लिए. 56 साल की जिंदगी को 8-9 मिनट में समेटना बहुत मुश्किल है. वी डिड लॉट्स ऑफ स्ट्रगल्स, बट उनको सम अप करना यहाँ बड़ा मुश्किल काम है. एंड देन बट मैं चाहूँगा कि जो काम मैं कर रहा हूँ वो मैं करता रहूँ जब तक मैं पाँव पे खड़ा हूँ अपने, और जब तक मुझे जिंदगी चलाती है तो मैं ये काम करता रहूँगा, लोगों को हेल्प करता रहूँगा जैसे लोगों ने मुझे हेल्प किया है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली क्रिकेट में मेरा कोई मेंटोर नहीं था, कोई कोच नहीं था. उसी की वजह से मुझे ये कोचिंग जो पोजीशन लेनी पड़ी कि मैं जो मुझे हेल्प नहीं मिल सकी उस टाइम पर, वो मैं आगे लोगों को हेल्प कर सकूं. और ये सिर्फ स्पोर्ट्स में नहीं है, उनकी आम जिंदगी में भी. और आज हमारी टीम से कई लोग फिटनेस ट्रेनर हैं और काफी ऊंची जगह पे हैं, और आई एम सो प्राउड ऑफ यू.
थैंक यू सो मच. थैंक यू सो मच. गुलफाम, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे लास्ट में ऑडियंस को, या हमें, या हमारे से कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? गुलफाम, आर यू देयर?
Yes. But sorry, I can't on the video.
It's okay. I know. गुलफाम को आज बहुत तेज बुखार है, बट वो यहाँ है. So that also proves.
फाइन वो तो होता रहता है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. बट हाँ, ये एक चीज बड़ी हम सबके साथ होती है कि ऊपर वाले ने ना हमको मुश्किलें, हम मुश्किलें कितनी भी दी हो, सबसे बड़ी चीज दी उसने हमें जिंदगी. तो ऑलवेज ना, जब भी आप प्रॉब्लम्स में आओ तो ये देखना कि यार आप जिंदा तो हो ना, कि एटलीस्ट कुछ भी करोगे आप निकल जाओगे. और थोड़े ही समय की रात होती है, ऐसी कोई सी रात नहीं है जिसका सवेरा कभी हुआ ही नहीं है. तो ऑलवेज जब रात मिले ना तो सो जाना और सुबह का इंतजार करना और फिर अच्छे से काम करना. तो ये प्रॉब्लम्स जो होती हैं, जो डिफिकल्टीज होती हैं, ये हमारी जिंदगी में हमें एक लर्निंग होती है कि हमें अब सोना है और फिर अगले दिन उनको बीट करना है, उनको फाइट करना है और अच्छे से रेडी होना है। सो मेरा मानना, मैं अपने लाइफ स्टाइल को हमेशा ऐसे ही जीता हूँ कि मैं डेली जब भी कोई भी प्रॉब्लम्स आती है तो आंखें बंद करके, चाहे मैं उस वक्त मैं ध्यान करूं 10 मिनट 5 मिनट, वो मेरी जीवन की वो वाली रात होती है जो वो होती है ना कि इसके बाद फिर अब मुझे दिन देखना है। तो वो प्रॉब्लम्स हमें दिखाती हैं। तो मैं यही चाहूंगा कि सब लोग ऐसे ही अपनी लाइफ को, ऐसे कोई प्रॉब्लम्स आए तो इस तरह से ट्रीट करें। थैंक यू।
सो हम रेक्स करमवीर में बोलते हैं, आई चेंज टू चेंज माई सेल्फ, to change my community, I change to change my world, I change to change everything, because all that change that I'm wanting to see around me is within me. So when I change myself, I do this, and then once I change myself, then together as one we can right every wrong. That's how, with that power of one, we can together bring about changes around us, like you all are bringing. Ritvik and Tanaz, any last parting words?
Can I? Acha, let Ritvik go ahead, then I'll go.
Nothing. Just great to be over here, guys. Thank you so much. And to play. My signal is not great, so I'm just going to keep it short. Thank you again.
All right, Ritvik. Yes, it's been a little feeble, but yes, we could hear the best of the best from your talk as well. Thank you so much. Tanaz, over to you.
I think we getting a chance to share our journeys. I think it plays a role model theory, because that works a lot. That has worked a lot in my journey, where people look at me and then they say, okay, if she can do it, why can't we do it? So we as individuals, I think we should make the most of it with a humble heart, of course. Reach out to people, let them know that you've had failures, you've had your share of difficulties, and the only thing that helped you achieve what you have achieved today is the fact that you didn't give up. You kept working hard. Even a step taken on a day where you feel you can't do anything, it is an achievement. So success doesn't only means when you achieve big titles. Success comes in small forms also. So be very humble, be very grateful with every small step that you take. And remember, every small step that you take makes the big picture. So just keep going on. And again, I mean, being a part of this family, it's my very first event that I am attending, and I am blown out to see the kind of stories that have come, to see the kind of enthusiasm. And now I can personally, I'll be a little selfish here, that okay, the goal that I am trying to achieve through sports, I am sure when I be a part of this family will help me reach out to more and more people, and the voice that I am trying to make it heard everywhere, we will be able to achieve it. So thank you so much again for giving me this platform and letting me be a part of it. And I look for a brightful future and an achievable future with this family, with each one of you. And let's work towards the betterment of this society, towards building a great culture, to building great humans, to the medium of sport, and just loving each other and respecting everyone how they are. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we at Rex Carter, we look forward to hearing you and listening to you, and showcasing your story to our network in the 3 days fellowship and awards that we have, because we are all about learning. At the end of the day, every initiative at Rex Karmir is about learning. What is the learning and what is the takeaway, and how we can enhance and inspire others to learn. And vulnerability is that power. It's a trigger power that helps us to unleash our heroic potential. And because of that, we our initiative into education for all age groups has led us to also stand humbled and learn every day with people like you. So welcome to the fraternity, and we look forward to meeting all of you once again on 26th, 7th and 28th of November, 3 days fellowship. And thank you to the audience that have very patiently heard us and been with us through this beautiful journey of legends in sports. Thank you.